Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Discount Paranormal. I'm Tim, hanging out with Justin.
How's it going, everybody?
Okay, guys, and this week we're gonna get a little off topic, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
we're starting like what's the word I'm looking for? Like off topic
sure,
stuff.
right.
Not our conspiracy theories and our monsters and stuff like that. This is
Yeah. We're gonna talk about stuff that's been proven to be real.
yeah,
At least in this dimension.
especially this particular topic we're talking about.
Yes. So right off the bat, we're a few years late, right?
Yeah,
On
well,
this,
I'm
but
not. You are.
I am, yes.
Yes, you
But
are.
the thing is that I don't know. This whole episode might be like a trigger warning for some people because we're going to
Yeah,
talk about a beloved franchise that I have serious issues with. And to be honest, they've been shoving it down our throats for like 50 years. And I think it's time to give it a little back,
yeah.
honestly, because I'm over it.
I'm not particularly happy with the latest installments either. So
Right. Okay. So we're talking about Star Wars. So let's
yeah,
just get right off the thing. I know the was it the Rise of Skywalker. That was like 3 years ago now. It was a while ago.
yeah.
But
It's been a bit.
for me, like I just kind of
You just
experienced them
watched it
all.
like a week ago or something.
Yeah, I mean, I got Disney Plus for my kids, and I was like, oh, like let me check out some of these because I saw like The Force Awakens when it came out, and that kind of stuff. And then I was like, well, I haven't seen these other ones. If I did, I don't recall them because I'm not a Star Wars guy. So let's just start there. I thought the original ones were okay. The prequels, uh,
Yeah.
I don't even
Now,
know what to
I will
say.
say that I am a Star Wars guy. I
Hmm.
watched the
You could tell by the glasses and
YouTube,
the
yeah,
round head.
and my background right
Oh
now.
well, yeah. Well, that makes
But
you a dweeb and a weeb at the
let's see,
same
I've
time.
watched I watch like YouTube videos about the background and the lore. I read the
Sure.
books,
Right. Yeah.
played the games, saw the
I've played the game.
movies.
I've played some of the games because some of the games are pretty fun. Like I played like Knights of the Old Republic because it
Yeah.
was an RPG and I'm into that. Well, I don't really play games anymore, but if I did, those are the kind of games I do kind of dig on, are those.
So
And I
you
think I
really
did
like the newer Star Wars game that came out.
well, and then I did like I almost said The Force Awakens, but that's not right. Like it was another one with some dude in it, and he was a Jedi. Good luck
You
figuring it
probably
out.
talk about
He was like he was
Fallen
like
Order.
no Law and Order.
Fallen Order.
Oh yeah, that would have been like
Star
you're a
Wars
Jedi that
Fallen.
solves crimes.
Yeah.
Using like DNA evidence.
Yeah, he's in the SVU department of the Jedi.
Ah, like Detective Luke Skywalker, something like that. No, I think it was like The Force Unleashed.
Hmm.
The Force Unleashed. I only remember that because I was watching like a UFC fight, and on the mat it had an ad for it, and I watched that like yesterday. That's the only way I recalled that information actually. So for me, like I watched it, and like the Force Awakens is everybody knows it's not anything new, but it's just it's like a soft reboot of A New Hope,
I mean, that's all it is. It's just the
which they
first
needed
three
to do.
episodes restarted with a
Right,
girl.
right.
Yeah, and it's same planet, same situations, everything.
Yeah, because when you've made 6 movies and like 5 animated shows and 7,000 books, you start from scratch
Yeah,
using the same recycled story over again. Problem
yeah.
one I have with it.
Well, that's because Disney got a hold of it and they
Uh,
Disneyfied it.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I feel like that's a cop out answer for Star
Well,
Wars
no,
fans.
because
Well, Disney got it. It's like,
well,
well,
no,
Disney
you
got a
don't
hold of
know
Marvel, and
why.
those movies are fucking awesome. I mean, most of them. I mean, they're formulaic, sure, but they're
Yeah,
still
like
pretty
they're
good.
pretty. Well,
Still
see,
good.
Marvel. I mean, not Marvel. Jesus, Disney.
It's the
You
same
know,
thing.
yeah. I mean, at this point, they are. But to me, dude, it's like, okay, we need to have a love interest. All right, now
They
we need to
kind of
bring
did
back.
that, and they didn't do that though. They did it like
It was her and Kylo Ren. Were like
later in the movies it was, but not at first. They made you seem like it was her and Poe.
Finn.
Oh yeah, not Poe. Yeah,
Finn.
Finn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I have a whole list of problems with Finn. And
Yeah.
dude, I actually love Star Wars.
Yeah.
And these last three movies have not done any favors for me.
Well, like the visuals were I thought were excellent.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's not a big surprise though, considering A, it's Disney, B, they have unlimited money. Like literally, like their bank account is like an infinity sign. There's no limit
Yeah,
to the amount of money that they have. And they can do
especially if
whatever
they
they
could
want.
throw at something as big as
Right.
Star Wars.
And they own ILM, because I'm sure that came with the whole franchise buyout of Lucas. You know what I mean?
Probably.
And the only reason I like George Lucas is because I like Indiana Jones. They were some of my favorite movies of all time. It might not even be they might be my favorite movies, like
I
Raiders
can't say that
and
they're my favorite.
Last Crusade. You know what I mean? But he
Yeah.
wrote those. Temple of Doom. Okay, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think people shit on Temple of Doom, and I do too. I'm moving on, but like I even liked Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I thought that was
Oh,
good.
I hated that one,
I
man.
watched I bought the new one for $10,
Of course you did.
Dial of Destiny, and then literally a week later on Disney Plus was like, check out the new fucking Indiana Jones movie. I was like, you son of a bitch. They got me twice. They got me twice on it. But I even thought that was okay. Like it was okay. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked
No,
it.
like with the newer movies, what was it 7, 8, and 9? Right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like the space battles.
See, that's the
Yeah,
problem for
there's
me too. Some of that.
yeah. I mean, there's always problems with, it, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But outside of that, dude, I mean, it's just like what would happen if Luke Skywalker was a woman?
Essentially.
You know, it's the same shit.
Yeah, I don't mind like the
It kills me.
gender. I don't know.
Oh, that part
I don't know if
doesn't
gender
bother
swap
me.
is the right term to use, but in this
Well, for the
context, it is.
character, main
Yeah,
character.
you're swapping the man for the woman,
Yeah.
which okay. You know what I mean? I get it. Like the old ones came out before most of us were born that are even into it anymore. Like the
Yeah.
newer generations of fans of it. That's like a lot of kids like grew up watching it with their dad.
Yeah, I mean they started coming out in the 70s.
You're right, exactly. I mean, like hardly any of us were even born then. You know what I mean? I wasn't.
No.
You clearly weren't because
I'm younger than you.
you're younger than me. So my big problem starts off with recycling a story. If you're I mean, I get that like there's some general audience you got to play to as well, but the
Yeah,
majority of
you
people
got to pull
even.
in the newer ones.
But
But
I
at
think
this
that's
point,
bullshit too, though.
Star Wars is so damn big, you
No,
don't need to
right?
pull in.
Okay,
You're
you're making
already
my point
pulling
for
them
me.
in.
You're
Yeah.
making my point for me because it's even if you've never seen them, just by proxy, you
You
know what
know
they're
of them.
about, and
Yeah.
you know who's in them. You know it's Luke. You know it's Vader.
Yeah.
You know it's
Yeah.
Han,
Luke. Yeah.
Chewie,
Luke Skywalker. Yeah. The
Leia.
original cast, you
You
could
know who
never
they
have
are.
seen one
Palpatine.
and you know who they are.
Yeah, Palpatine. You know these people. You know them already.
Yeah.
So don't do that. You don't have to. I mean, it was still, I thought, a good movie. I mean, as far as like, if you just take out any of the other Star Wars movies and you just watch it
I mean,
as
if
a
they were
movie, it's pretty good.
standalone, if it was a standalone trilogy, not building off,
Yeah, yeah,
the first six,
right.
yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely.
You know,
Because then you don't, because that's kind of what episode 4 did. They just threw you into the force. It didn't
yeah,
have all the explanations as 1, 2, and 3 had.
right. Which were shitty. It's like, oh, they're like
Yeah, I didn't.
wasn't it like microscopic organisms in your blood?
It might have midichlorians.
Midichlorians, yeah,
Yeah,
mitochondria. It's basically what they're
mitochondrians.
saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same kind of thing. It was like, what?
Well, that was I do believe that's
Okay,
always been in the lore. That
okay. George Lucas creates the lore.
yeah,
Okay, not rando guy who writes one of the fucking books.
yeah.
George Lucas.
Well, no,
is the
actually,
originator.
George Lucas does have control over what it goes in those books,
Right?
Because
it's whatever.
dude, for instance,
whatever makes me money. Yes.
yeah, but actually, if it goes against something,
Mm-hmm.
he won't let you publish it.
Yeah,
Like,
I wish somebody
for
had
instance,
that.
Yoda,
I wish somebody
right?
had that power about like with Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, I think even Luke, not Luke, George said,
You think he named
he
him? You think
regrets.
he named his main character after himself?
Probably.
Lucas.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think he even said he regretted Jar Jar Binks. He was solely for comedic relief, and you don't need that in a Star Wars movie. They're
No.
drama driven.
Essentially,
Yeah, I
they're
mean,
like drama, action, sci-fi.
yeah.
You know what
You
I mean?
don't
With
need comic relief. You have it with R2D2 already because he's
yeah,
swearing so much they bleep out everything he's saying.
C3PO, them two together are the comic relief. They're the
Yeah,
one
you
two.
don't
They're
need
the
Jar
outer
Binks.
space Abbott and Costello. You know what I mean? Like that's what they're designed to
Yeah,
be. Is
yeah,
essentially
exactly.
is those guys. And then like when you're talking about like the space battles, right? In the new ones, it's too much. It's too much. It's overwhelming. Some of it. It's like there's
Yeah.
so like
Oh,
there's scenes where there's fucking 5,000 ships in there.
yeah.
And you're like,
Well,
I
that's
can't
kind
tell
of.
what's happening. Like I want to see like
I
more
think they planned it that way. They
to be
wanted it to
cluttered and
be.
confusing.
I think they wanted it to just be chaotic, because remember, like in
It's a
the
space battle. I mean, I get
episode 9,
right.
the last one,
Sure.
when everybody, all the planets, all the factions were sending their ships through the wormholes,
Right.
right, to the what the fuck is it called? Lost sector,
Something like
forbidden sector,
yeah, on the like
forbidden,
the outer rim or something
yeah, it's
or
forbidden space or something. I can't
yeah,
remember the exact name of it right now,
right.
but that's what it was supposed to be, just thousands
Wherever
of
that Sith
ships.
planet was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, as Exegol, I think.
Yeah, Exegol. I think that's
Yeah,
right.
and
I feel like that was like
Exegol actually has like a big part in I guess now it would be the non-canon stuff,
I
but
think like I feel like that name. I've seen that name like other places, like in a like a video game. I think I like played a character named Exegol or something. Like I felt like a boss named Exegol.
yeah, Star Wars is so big, dude. They have influenced a lot of other
Sure,
media too.
right.
But I kind of like that in like the last space battle.
Mm-hmm.
It was just chaos.
Okay,
Ships were fighting in the sky. They were hand to hand combat on the fucking wing.
right.
It was just chaos, and that kind of, to me anyways, that seems like more what a battle
Well,
would be. It wouldn't be, here's my 5 squadrons, here's
right,
your 5 squadrons, but the only problem is that your 5 have giant fucking laser beams.
right. Which is always the case.
Yeah, but I
It's
liked it.
always the case. They recycle
Yeah.
that same shit over and over and over.
Well, I
Giant
mean,
red
dude,
or blue or fucking
I
whatever
mean, then look
laser.
at Star Killer, not Star Killer.
Then they all have the
No, Star
same
Killer base. I
one
think it was.
weakness.
They turned a fucking planet into the Death Star.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's a sequel. You got to go bigger, bud.
yeah. But see, that's the thing, dude. For instance,
It's new, but it's not new.
Palpatine. In case anyone hasn't seen it, spoiler warnings.
If you haven't seen it, but fucking 3 years later,
But
whatever.
Palpatine, right, in canon, in the books of Luke Skywalker's lifeline,
Uh-huh.
right? So it goes the first 3 episodes, and then what happens after Palpatine, right?
Sure.
So Luke restarts the Jedi Order. He becomes the
Uh-huh.
Grand Master, like Yoda was.
Sure. Sure. Well, he's the last one.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's also
He's like de
strong
facto.
enough, dude. Like, he's also strong enough in the books to pull fucking black holes into orbit.
Yeah, so you can't put that stuff in a movie though.
No, but that's the level of power Luke Skywalker has.
Right, and they don't give him anywhere near that
books.
power in
No.
movies.
This is after the first 3 movies is when he gets that level of power.
Sure.
Dude, so much they could have done with that. Nothing. But like Palpatine in the books does have clones. He comes back a couple times in the books.
Right. Then explain
and,
it.
Luke has to go hunt down his clone facility and stuff like that. Fights them all over again.
Well, why didn't they have like a bit of exposition when Rey went into his little throne room there? Why was he like, oh, I thought you were dead? I've had clones for you know what I mean? Like whatever.
Well,
just
because they made him look more like
line.
a zombie instead of a
Yeah,
clone.
I didn't like that.
See, that's the thing.
I mean, visually, I thought he looked
cloning.
Cool.
Yeah,
and the environment was cool. Yeah,
like cloning is canon in the movies.
Sure, it is.
There's a whole fucking movie about the clones.
They make a whole army.
Yeah, there's a whole movie explaining the process.
Like the super long neck, like effeminate alien looking things.
Oh, well, I can't remember their names right now.
The cloners.
It's just called
all that matters.
It's fine. But you have that already.
Yeah.
In the new trilogy, you have a scene where you show cloning Snoke.
Yeah, yeah. In the last movie,
Yeah,
yeah,
where
yeah, yeah.
there's different. He's at different stages of being grown.
Yeah, but even Snoke was
He was a clone.
what useless is what is the term I was. He didn't do
Yeah,
anything.
because he wasn't a real Sith. He was a
He was pretty
dark
fucking
Jedi,
strong. I mean, he like
but he
did
wasn't a
that.
true Sith.
They like he froze Ray and then vibrated her half to death.
but
You know what I mean?
no,
Did
like
you ever see that
the
meme they made
mark
about
of a
that scene
yeah,
where it's like
yeah,
when you put new batteries in your vibrator? You're like,
yeah. He's like
yeah, that's the best. The internet is undefeated, man. Like that's
oh
the
yeah,
best
for
shit
sure.
ever.
But dude, like he's not a true. The mark of a true Sith is the yellow eyes and the like aging of the skin. You know how like when Palpatine looks,
Yeah, so
he's
you
all
have
like
it looks like you have jaundice.
desiccated looking, and he's got
Yeah,
bright yellow eye. That's a true Sith.
right.
He was never a Sith. He was like a dark Jedi, which would be a. He's kind of like he messes with the dark side, but he doesn't
Who?
fully commit to it. The
Snoke.
dark, yeah,
Oh,
and Kylo Ren.
and Kylo Ren. Yeah,
They're both.
Kylo Ren
Well,
was the
Snoke
best
was
part of
never
those
a
movies.
Jedi, but that's about as close as I can give it to you.
Kylo Ren was easily the best part of those movies, by far.
Yeah, I
It's not
like
even close. Yeah, it's not even close.
I didn't
I
like
remember seeing his face for the first time, like, oh God, like
that's
that's the guy they picked.
yeah.
But then, like,
But I
you get
like how
over
they
it, but
kept.
it's because his acting is so good, you get over it
I like how
relatively
they
quickly.
kept the helmet in, and they
Right?
showed Vader's helmet, so that's why he's wearing the helmet.
How did he find it?
It's on Oh
It's
yeah,
on
that's a good
where
point.
the fucking thing obliterated into literally into like
Yeah, that's a good
subatomic
point.
particles. Like, how
Well,
did he find it?
if you want to go from the books, right? That kind of stuff holds dark side energy in it, so you could a force sensitive could actually pick up on it, and they can
It doesn't explain how it didn't also get
obliterate.
obliterated into nothing.
Yeah,
Like literally nothing. It
I
doesn't make
yeah,
sense.
they didn't explain it, but they didn't
It
need to. It was just a quick 2 second.
no no
There's
no no no
Vader's
no.
mask and move on.
Incorrect. Incorrect. You absolutely need to.
Real, you think? I didn't think
Yes,
so. When I saw it, I'm like,
because
oh, cool, and then
all
moved
of
on.
the people like yourself who are like who love the series and stuff are gonna be like, what? That's what you're making the movies for. Don't you're not making it for me. You're making it for the fanboys who are gonna come and watch it, and they're gonna be
Yeah.
like, where the fuck did he find that?
See, I'll be honest, dude.
Because Luke
I
left him on
rolled
the
with it.
goddamn Death
Yeah,
Star, the second one, because he's like, when he took off his mask and he was,
yeah. He was back to Anakin. He wasn't
right,
Darth
right,
Vader
right, right.
anymore.
And then he took the mask off so he could breathe or whatever.
No, he took it off so he could see him
See him, yeah, whatever the
his
reasoning
eyes,
was.
and then he died because of that.
Right. But he left him there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then at the end, you just see it like it's just like sparks
Boom.
and it's gone.
Yeah.
His fucking helmet survived and then melted in like a really creepy way until it make it look like almost like a skeleton, like a skull looking face thing.
Well,
Like
see,
you
like even
absolutely
with
have
that,
to explain that
I,
kind
I
of stuff.
liked it.
Or just not do it.
I liked it because it was just okay. You could see where Kylo Ren's coming from.
Yeah.
That's why he's wearing the mask. You know, like he's the whole troubled, stuck between the light and the dark, like Vader was.
Sure.
Because even in his
Again,
darkest time, Vader would
same
still
story.
have like Anakin would pop up in Vader.
Sure.
So like even during those times where he was like the enforcer, he was hunting Jedi down, Anakin would still like resurface from time to time.
Right.
Like because there were two different people. You got to remember that
They weren't
Anakin,
Palpatine. Yeah, he wasn't like Palpatine, like pure evil.
No, like Vader was 100% two different individuals.
He was conflicted. Yeah, he's like that's why he was a good villain. He's conflicted. He's not pure evil. It makes him more interesting. It doesn't make him any more menacing like Palpatine, but it makes him more of a dynamic. Like,
well, dude, like
character.
even with Palpatine, and I understand,
but even now, Darth Vader's kind of a fucking joke. You know what I mean? Like they've pussified Darth Vader to where you're like, he's not even like in the original.
I don't know.
Movies,
What was
he's
it? Rogue
imposing.
One.
He's like big and he's imposing. But now you're just like, then you like watch videos of like that Star Wars land, whatever they call that, in like Disney World or whatever. Kind of like they did like the Avatar thing. You know what I mean? And he's doing like I saw a video of him doing like a Michael Jackson dance and shit. You're like,
Oh yeah, no,
dude,
he
what are
needs to
you
be.
doing? What are you
He needs to be
doing?
like Michael Myers, where every time you see him, he
Yes.
just
Yes,
fucking
he's menacing. He's like
yeah.
he's a joke. He's not scary no more.
Well,
What
dude,
like you
like, did
did
you
that to your
see
most
Rogue
powerful
One?
character.
Actually, well,
Your most
one of your most
popular
liked.
character.
Yeah.
Your most
Um.
popular for sure. I mean, Luke's probably second, but he's absolutely number one. It's not even close.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Vader. Everyone knows who Vader is.
Right. I
But dude,
guarantee
like,
they still
even in
sell
the books,
more Darth Vader costumes than they do Luke or whatever.
they don't even sell
Guaranteed.
Luke Skywalker. They sell Jedi, I
My
believe.
fucking point exactly.
Yeah. Well, because Luke and Jedi wore the same shit. So
Yeah, I mean, you can make him look like like the Tatooine
yeah, I mean,
costume
you
or
could go,
whatever.
but dude, like, even if you want to go in, like, and I do, I always want to go back into the books. Palpatine,
Mm.
like his Force lightning,
Mm-hmm.
the strongest the Sith ever had by far. He was the best alchemist, like the Sith alchemist.
Who is this?
Palpatine.
Palpatine. Okay.
Like, now I understand in the 70s.
Well, wasn't he Sidious too, if I'm not mistaken? Is he Darth Sidious as
Yeah, yeah,
well as
Sidious.
Palpatine?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
Sidious.
his name is Palpatine. His Sith name is
Sith name.
Sidious.
Right.
Darth Sidious.
Sure.
But like in the books, he was able to atomize people with that lightning, completely evaporate them.
Well, he kind of did something. I mean, he didn't do it to a person, but in the last one where like the lightning went up into like outer space and started
Yeah,
like destroying ships, I'm like, what the fuck is happening here?
that wouldn't, like,
That's too
book
much.
Palpatine.
Yeah.
That's not even a feat for him.
Yeah.
That's just something he could do.
It's too much
Well,
though.
see,
Like
like, that's the level of power Palpatine, Sidious, and Luke had.
yeah.
They had world-ending power
Well,
or
didn't they say too?
world-saving power, like that. Complete
Those
opposites of the spectrum.
sure he was
The
death
ultimate
and
evil,
Luke was life and
yeah,
that
the
kind of stuff.
ultimate powerful evil versus the ultimate powerful good.
And then like Ray's healing people like fucking snakes and
Yeah,
shit.
I mean, force healing is canon,
Yeah.
but I have a whole list of problems with Ray.
Well, I guess
First
you
of
can't
all,
do like they do in the video games where you kill a guy and then like little pellets fall out and they
yeah,
heal you. You
well,
know
like,
what I mean? Like I guess you
now
can't do
I
that.
get it in terms of,
Well, it was
um,
necessary for the story.
yeah, because you can't have the whole
That's the convenience of
training,
writing.
but yeah, because the problem is they set the whole scene to where this is happening now,
Mm-hmm.
where the first three there was time skips almost
Oh, like
between the
where like he
movies.
went in Empire when he went to Dagobah, and then
Yeah,
the
like
last one
where
where
he went
he's
from not knowing shit
yeah,
to being able to be on par with Vader
right.
in a relatively short time, sure, but that's movies,
But then you have
But
Jedi where
Ray went
he's
from like
like a
the whole damn
master.
movie went, the whole trilogy was like 3 fucking months long.
Yeah, they didn't really.
He went
Yeah,
from
you're
not
right.
knowing anything about the Force
Yeah,
to being able to take on fucking Palpatine. It's
yeah,
unrealistic.
yeah. Raw power, I think, is what
Yeah,
they were going for with that.
cool.
It fell
Because there's
apart, but
like,
that's what they were trying for, I think.
yeah, like, okay, I understand. It's in there. It's in canon. There's what's the word I'm looking for? Prodigies,
Sure.
right? Like, they pick up a lightsaber and they just they're
Yeah,
they
you're a
master it
natural
in
or
no
whatever.
time,
Yeah,
or pick up a
yeah,
blaster or whatever,
right.
or force push or something like that. Like, damn, that comes easy.
Yeah,
But power in Star Wars doesn't happen like that.
right.
You go from being barely able to pick up a rock
Yeah,
to later being able to pull down a fucking starship from orbit.
and she did the Force lightning.
Yeah, there was a whole. Well, that's because she was a Palpatine. So you
You
could
still got to train for it.
yeah, like you
You
could
just
kind
said
of
it. Like
explain it. Yeah,
you go from like doing like a rock to ripping down spaceships, and then but that's just using the Force power. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But then like the lightning was like hyper advanced
yeah. It's on
training.
par with like
Yeah, she just kind of
Sidious.
like then she just kind of like did it.
Yeah, that's my whole thing. Like, they made it like, she was too easy. She never lost a fucking fight.
No,
There was never this
not
like
that I remember,
clumsy
anyways.
swinging the sword around thing that, because like,
Well,
dude, even
their
with
first
Luke, they
encounter
had,
was kind of like just trying shit out, but he was
yeah, but it
wounded
was just
too.
like, yeah. Well, my whole And like Kylo Ren, professionally trained, essentially,
He
by
never
Luke
finished.
Skywalker.
He
Yeah,
never
but
finished.
you had Luke fucking Skywalker training you how to use a saber,
Yeah.
probably since he was a kid. Let's
Yeah,
not
it's
forget
his
that. Like,
sister. Yeah, it's his uncle.
yeah, the Jedi take you when you're young,
Yeah.
but Luke did change that. But he would have been a child when he started training,
Yeah. I mean, they kind of did that.
regardless.
They kind of like, if I remember, and the especially the prequels, I'm kind of going off very vague memory, but didn't like Yoda try to say that he was too old? What, like
Yep.
Anakin was too old, and I'm like, he's only like fucking 7. Like
Yeah,
he's
but they
not that
take you when
old.
you're a baby.
How do you know? Like, how
How
do
do
you
they
know
know
they
they're
even
too
have the
young?
powers?
Because they have
It doesn't make
because
any sense.
everybody like in the universe, everybody has the force essentially,
You can tap
but
into it,
there's
but
only certain people who can exactly tap into it,
like wield
and
it,
they can sense that.
right?
The Jedi they send out
Is this in the
scouts
books that
essentially.
the shit you're talking about right now?
No, just, yeah, but it's
Okay,
still canon like in the movies. But they'll take you, they'll send out scouts, but this is from the books
right,
that find force sensitive children
right,
and they take them as babies
sure.
to train from infancy to be a Jedi. So,
Okay.
but
I'm just
Luke,
going along for the ride at this
yeah,
point with
but
it.
Luke,
Okay.
he did change that, right?
Well, he
He
probably yeah, he
allows.
had no choice. There was
Well,
fucking none
he didn't
left.
agree. He didn't agree with it, right?
Right. There's none left. He didn't
Yeah.
do it until, I mean, see,
Well, he
and
changed the whole rules of the Jedi.
that's what's so frustrating. Like there's so many plot holes with it. So it's like Yoda's like, oh, he's too old. He's too old. You know what I mean? Shit like that. And then it's like the most powerful ones that ever existed. Luke
Or
didn't do
too
it
old.
until he was like 17. Ray's like, God only knows how old she is, like early 20s. You know what I
Probably,
mean?
yeah.
It's like, what? Like the two most
Yeah.
powerful people that you ever had in your series are
Well,
doing
don't.
it as
Yeah,
like late
Anakin,
teens, early
Luke,
20s. It makes no
Ray. Yeah.
sense. It makes no fucking sense.
Well, because the whole thing was right attachments.
Yeah.
He didn't want Anakin to be trained because he was already attached to his mother.
Right.
So when he inevitably lost her,
Yeah.
it would be a fast track to the dark
To
side.
the
That's
dark
why they
side.
pull
Yeah.
you from
Mm-hmm.
as an infant and you just don't have
Yeah,
a
like a
family.
Spartan or something.
Yeah,
Like Spartan training.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, but then Luke changed that. He lets married people in. He encourages you to have ties and all this and that.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, I guess you can like draw power from it. You know what I mean? Like
well, what
inspiration or whatever.
he well, his whole thinking is because the Jedi made it taboo, right? That's why Anakin fell to the dark side.
Sure.
Love was taboo.
Yeah.
Anakin,
Because isn't like Obi-Wan is celibate? Like that's his whole
yeah,
gig and all that. Then how do you make more Jedi's? That doesn't make any sense. That seems
because
like a
you
really
don't make any
shitty.
Jedi's.
But it's in your bloodline.
You recruit into Jedi's. You don't
The
create more
minute
Jedi's.
Anakin was born, or the minute Luke was born, that fucking rule should have went right out the goddamn window.
Yeah.
It's like
Well, by the time that
he's so
happened,
powerful.
the order
Guess
was
what? He
already
came from another
yeah
one.
yeah. Well,
It
by the
doesn't make
time
any
that
sense.
happened, the order was already gone.
Right. I mean, I get that they're like, you got to keep focused. It's like a monk mentality,
Exactly.
like a Shaolin kind of thing
That's
or
because
whatever they're
essentially
doing.
what they are. They're monks. They're like
Right.
warrior monks.
Right. Exactly. And then you can like the universe picks out who's going to be.
The Force does.
That's what I
You
mean.
want to go in? Yeah.
Whatever. They like. That's what I'm saying. Like I get what they were doing with it,
Yeah.
but they just like tear it down. Like in the
Yeah. Yeah.
course of the movie, it's like
They just make it
okay.
ridiculous.
Well,
Like
it's like because the other ones came out first, where Luke is, you know what I mean? Just he's getting trained by like crazy Yoda. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Where he's like hitting him with the stick over like a Snickers or something, or whatever he's got. You know what I mean? And then like he like changes like the minute they get into his tree or whatever. He's like, oh, I'm not really like a crazy little puppet man. Like he's
Yeah.
like Jedi Master at that point. You know what I mean? But it's like it's like okay, well you've already established that you don't have to be small. You don't have to
Yeah.
be found as a kid. We already established that. And then when you do it in the prequels, he's like 6 or 7. You're like, he's too fucking old.
Yeah,
What are you talking about? Like this
that's
doesn't make any logical sense. Like
because
story
the
wise, even just like
yeah.
storytelling wise, it's you could have just
Well,
never done it
part of
and
the
nobody would
story
have ever known.
was the Jedi were stuck in the old ways, and
Right.
so the whole thing was
Sure.
right. The
You got to
Sith
be
were
flexible. Yeah.
constantly evolving.
Yeah. They'll take whoever,
So
whenever.
at one point, well, no, they're super selective, but at one point they had armies.
Right.
They were their own empire,
Okay.
legit. Like they had ranks and
This is
everything.
books again.
Yeah,
Okay.
but um, in the movies though, like they're constantly evolving.
Yeah.
So they're not staying stationary.
Sure.
What they're doing is this master finds an apprentice that's worthwhile. They won't just take anybody. They find the most powerful apprentice they could find.
Sure.
Turn them to the dark side, teach them everything they know, get them stronger than they are, and their apprentice is supposed to kill them. And then so
On the Sith side.
every master is stronger than the one before.
But
Right.
then
And
how would you have armies of them if they all did that?
that's why they fell apart.
Yeah.
They were constantly
that's a really
infighting.
poor like business
Yeah.
model.
Well, they were constantly
that's really terrible.
well, that's the rule of two.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
after the armies.
I understand.
But
I got you.
so they went
Is it for like the
from
higher up, like the more powerful?
No, there's
I'm
only
sure you
ever
got
two.
like okay.
You'll have like Sith assassins when they're not really Sith or dark side users.
Well, they
got
kind
this
of
whole
did that
thing.
in the new movies where it was like Sith troopers, I think they were called.
Yeah,
It's
something
like
like
they're
that.
not
Like
they're
dark
not that
troopers
good.
or
They're not that good at it.
no.
You know what I mean?
They're
It's like,
kind of
what? Like what? Why not
But
just
no,
make them
like the
like
Sith
full
went
blown Sith?
from
Those fights would have been way better.
because the whole point is they're not worthy of being a Sith Lord.
Yeah, but you're making an action movie.
Yeah. But you got to stick to at
It would
least
have been a
some of
lot
the
more
lore.
fun. You know what I mean? I guess they were pretty
But like they
formidable. I
went
mean, they were
from
still formidable.
open Oh yeah, for sure. Like they went from open conflict with the Jedi to the Jedi believing they went extinct
Right.
to subtly taking control of the entire Senate.
Mm.
All the while the
Well,
Jedi
the
were
one
stuck in
did.
their ways. Yeah, but that's
One
how
did.
it was. The rule of two.
Yeah.
He
What
was
was
the
his
most
name?
powerful.
It wasn't was it Palpatine? No, it wasn't Palpatine. It was
Yeah, Palpatine.
no. He had a different name, didn't
Palpatine.
he?
No, that's his name. It was Senator Palpatine.
Oh, okay.
And then Sidious was his alter ego,
His Sith name, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was like
But
he did it based off of like I don't think like the Senate at those movies they did not allude to that like the Senate had tons of Sith in it. It's just being
the Senate
clever.
was
He
essentially
induced fear into them,
yep.
and out of panic,
They gave him
they
control
gave
over
him
the Senate.
control, right? Which
Yep.
is what he was trying to do the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, side note to that, did you also see the like the little Easter egg race that was in the Senate?
Yeah. Fuck. E.T.
ET's race was in there. Yeah. So that also alludes to that ET is a Jedi or knows how to use the Force.
Yeah.
Because he makes shit float in ET.
Yeah.
He like
I
he
like
heal
that.
somebody with it? Like he heals.
Yeah,
Like,
he uses force heal.
He like force heals somebody.
But though, like the whole thing was like the Jedi were stuck in their ways.
Jedis love Reese's Pieces. I mean,
Yeah.
if they would just gave Palpatine
But they
Reese's Pieces,
refused. They actively feared change in the Order, where the Sith actively like went towards change.
Yeah.
So instead of open,
Whatever
battle,
got them the power.
subtlety, exactly.
Right.
That was the whole main goal, was to eventually take over the universe with only two and not an army.
Well, that's I mean that's the I mean I think that's the theme of the whole franchise is that Sith long for power, regardless of what they do got to do to get it and who they have to betray to do it, while the Jedi is more about like peace and being tranquil and like settling things diplomatically and
status quo.
Right. While at the same time being some of them being extraordinarily powerful.
Yeah.
But it's also like that passive nature allowed all of this to happen.
Yeah, their arrogance essentially is what allowed.
It was a bit of arrogance, I think. I think it was a little bit of cowardice.
Yeah,
you know
it was
I mean?
their
like,
unwillingness to like.
Well, we can't break the rules. It's like, well, you not breaking the rules just killed like
millions of people,
like billions of people because they're blowing up planets now. and they're
Yeah,
like cloning armies, and like they're doing like a lot of terrible shit. And you
and they
have
did it
like,
right under your nose.
and you got Jedi's like having fucking tea with like Amygdala or whatever her name was. You know what I
Meanwhile,
mean?
there's a whole ass fucking galaxy wide war going on.
Right. Yeah. You picked Natalie Portman,
Well, see, dude,
which
like
was a good choice, by the way.
if you go
But
if
she
you
did
go by
good.
the books, right, they're forever not wanting to get involved in shit.
It's
Like
like that's what
if
you're
it's
there for, though, to
yeah,
like prevent those things from happening. Like that's why you're the Jedi Council, because you counsel them on like a different perspective of war and violence, and you're like, you're on your own.
yep.
What
You
are
know
you
what I
talking
did
about?
like
And then they
was
get all
that
murdered because they decided to do nothing until it was already too late.
yeah,
It's like I get that there's a ton of Jedi, but when you have
there's
like
10,000.
10,000 Jedi versus 20 million clones,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you're done. You can't fight it. Like you're like I get you're powerful and blah 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 blah. You can block blasters and all that, but you can't block 20 million of them.
No.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
like plus the Jedi won't use except for Luke Skywalker, they won't use the killing aspect of the Force. Right? So the
Well, that's
Force
the path.
lightning
That's
would actually arc from
everything
one
cool.
person to a knife. Yeah,
Everything cool that you can do leads to the dark side.
pretty much.
Everything cool leads you to be evil. It's like, but what if you just need to use it one time
Yeah.
for the
Well,
greater
that was
good?
their whole thing was
Yeah,
that you dip your toes into the dark side one time and you're tempted to use it again the next time you're in that kind of situation
very
before
close-minded.
you yeah, they
That's a
were.
very
That was the
close-minded
whole
way of looking
thing.
at it. So using any of like the cooler side of the force powers immediately, now you're heading towards the dark side and you're going to be evil. And it's like, well, I just don't get it, because like I just said, like if you use it one time for the greater good, that like all of a sudden now,
Yeah,
like it's
it's
like it
like
doesn't make
the
any.
temptation is always there now.
Well, it's very black and white, and people aren't black and white like that. You know
Yeah,
what I
but the
mean?
Jedi are.
I don't believe it. There's got to be instances where like it didn't go that way. Well, I guess I don't know, because it's not real.
You have
So
Mace. Well, one,
they can
well,
write it how they like. You
you have
know,
Mace Windu, but he's the only one the Jedi will you let use. Like he channels the darker emotions when he's fighting.
you couldn't tell that from the prequels, really.
No, but like like Mace Windu's character, that's how he fights. He channels like the dark side while he's fighting, but he's able to control it.
How funny is it that he had a purple lightsaber?
Well, he was
That's the best thing ever. It's like
well,
purple.
the funny part
He's
was,
got like
dude,
a
is that
velour Jedi costume.
he's the reason purple is a lightsaber color in canon.
It's because
Because
of the
there
prequel.
wasn't one. Yeah, it's because of Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Because he went up to George Lucas and was like, I want a purple lightsaber. And he went, oh, okay.
Motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, and like he made up like a whole lore. Now purple signifies that you're halfway between light and dark.
Only Samuel L. Jackson could rewrite Star Wars
Star Wars.
canon just
Just
because.
because. Yeah, just because he wanted to.
Because
There's
he's
no
Sam
other reason.
Jackson. It's like, he's not really the character from Pulp Fiction. Like that's not a real guy. That was just like
Yeah.
a character he played. You know what I mean? Like it's
That's
not the
like
same. He also played a homeless man in Coming to America, but it doesn't make him actually homeless. You know what I mean? Or he like robbed the, what is
he
it? Not
tried
the
to rob them
McDonald's.
McRonald's.
Yeah, or McDonald. It's not McDonald's, but it's something almost
No,
exactly
it's like
like it.
McRonald's. Yeah, it's like
No,
a
it's not that. It's something else. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen Coming to America. Um, but it's interesting. Like I was just rewatching, and we are all over the map with this
oh yeah.
like this entire universe thing that they're building here. But like I noticed that, like, again, kind of going back to the thing where they kind of just reuse, it's the same three goddamn movies.
McDowell's.
Yeah, McDonald's, where they're going, yeah, they got the Big Mac, I got the Big Mick.
Yeah.
Yes, fuck you too. But like I was just watching Rise of Skywalker, and there's a scene where they have inexplicably the Sith dagger that apparently was made to like line up perfectly with the Death Star, so it makes it essentially brand new, but they make it sound like it's super ancient. It's like, well, how did you
Sith.
know?
What
Yeah,
are you
they have like
talking
the
about?
dagger where she holds it up to the remains of the Death Star on the island with the giant waves, and she's got to go on that little skimmer boat and
Oh
get there and
yeah,
stuff. It's
okay.
like that stuff is like, dude, what are you thinking?
They're just
What
throwing
are
shit
you
in there at
thinking?
that
What
point.
are you thinking? It was like a big part of the movie. Like they had to go to one place to get this thing, and then they went to another place to get the Sith Wayfinder, like another thing. It's just too much of that. It's too much of that. But there was a scene in there where like Ray is talking to Kylo Ren, and it's in the Emperor's like throne room, whatever.
Yeah,
While he's like tempting her to the dark side. I'm like, this is the exact same fucking scene,
yeah. That's
essentially.
why I said it was almost a scene for scene recreation of the first three.
Yeah, it was insane, man. Like I was like, this is
Dude, they
do they
even
not think
have
people are gonna notice or do they just not
like
care?
dude, I mean, even with Poe, Poe is just a new generation of Han. You know, the
Yes. He's
you
got
know,
the
the
skills of
super space I don't
yeah.
know what the
Like
flyer, I guess, captain.
he was a nerf herder. I think it's the term.
Only we're allowed to say that.
Yeah, he's a nerf herder. But he's like a scandal, like a what is it, a swindler. That's what they I
Yeah.
think that's what they called it. But like Poe was like an amalgamation of Luke and Han, in my opinion, because he's got like the X-wing fighter skills of Luke, who is apparently a natural pilot, like his dad,
Yeah.
Anakin was, with the personality type of Han Solo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was kind
And
like
that's
all the
that's
characters were all over the damn place, man.
yeah. And it's like I said, even Ray was kind of Luke Skywalker regurgitated, like you said, with a different, just this time
Yep.
with a
Just
different gender. You
yeah.
know what I
I mean,
mean?
that's
Like
all she was.
that's what it was, and it's like where do they go from here? Because
Well, I do
Solo
know that
was
they
a shit
said
movie, and Rogue One was okay, but I think people now are having trouble with anything they do in with like the title Star Wars that
mhm.
doesn't include Jedi or lightsabers or
Well,
anything like
I don't
that,
know.
and that's
I
a
think they
problem.
did. I think they did have a
Like I thought
problem.
Rogue One was okay, but they threw Vader in there. Why? Because they had to have something, I
Well, no,
guess.
because
But
Rogue One was supposed to be what happened before the start of episode three.
right,
Of
it's like a
four.
sequel to the prequel, but a prequel to the trilogy, the original
Yeah.
series. It's
Yeah,
like it's
it
very
was
convoluted.
that was I think the whole movie was literally what happened right before Vader found Leia
Right,
with the Death Star plans. Like that
sure,
was the whole thing of it.
right,
'Cause I think right there at the end was a recreation of him actually boarding the ship.
sure. Yeah, it was something like that. I only watched Rogue One once, and I was like, "This is okay."
Yeah,
It was
like
okay.
well, the problem with Star Wars, man, is that with because like I like the Mandalorian to a certain extent.
I do too.
I watched like the first like well 6 episodes or something.
I watched the first full season. Um, like I said, I'm not a Star Wars fanboy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I watched it because of the hype that everybody I
I
knew
mean,
was talking about it.
it was a good show.
You know why it was good though? I'll tell you why it was good because it was small and it was gritty and it had fucking nothing to do with your main cast of characters. I
No,
mean,
they even added a new character Grogu. He's
right.
another Yoda. Well, he's from Yoda species, but
Well, that's
still.
the thing. So that's the thing. Does Yoda actually have a species?
He does. He has a homeworld.
Is this in canon? Is this in the books?
Yep.
Is this it is. Okay.
Yeah,
It's not Dagobah,
Yoda
clearly.
no.
That's like a
Dagobah
hiding
was
spot.
no, Dagobah was like a dark side vortex
Hmm.
because Yoda was essentially the avatar of the light side.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of the
So
gist.
he went to Dagobah because it would mask his presence so the Empire wouldn't find him.
Right. Yeah.
But Yoda does have a species. He has his homeworld. and everything like
Okay.
that.
Sure.
And he's not the first of his species to show up in the Jedi.
Right.
And usually when they show up, they're like the most powerful Jedi.
Right. Which makes you think that like
Because
that race is essentially like
is
spawned from the
yeah, it's kind of
Force.
like a lot of other things. It's like they're loved by the Force. Yeah, I
For
mean,
their like
like
control and their
yeah, like
rational
they're
thinking and
super light. Like there's never been an instance where one of them fell to the dark side or even came
right.
close.
Right. Yeah. So you know more a lot about the books than I do, but
Yeah,
I think most people are only gonna know
the movies, yeah,
the
which is fair enough,
movies.
in the TV shows and whatnot. And
Right. And the thing is that like I enjoyed like say the reimagining of Star Trek with the Kirk crew and stuff with J.J. Abrams. And I was expecting more, or not like more, because there's a fucking ton going on in those movies, but better,
I
like
mean,
more
it
coherent.
was almost like the, Disney didn't have a plan. They wanted to make a new Star Wars trilogy.
Right.
They did not have a plan for a Star Wars trilogy.
They all they knew is that they just spent $4.5 billion in this franchise and need to start making some of that money back. And they
Yeah,
didn't care how they did it, is what it feels like. And then they get Marvel, who's I think was already doing the MCU prior to the buyout of
they were.
Marvel. Or I might be imagining that it might have well have been before that. I'd have to
I'm
look it
pretty
up to
no,
be
I'm
sure.
pretty sure like Marvel Studios was already in.
Well, they were already doing movies, but I just don't know if they were part of Disney yet
No, no,
before
they weren't.
MCU came out. Like by MCU, I mean like Iron Man and on, not like Blade and some
No,
of the
no,
other like
Iron Man came out before the buyout, I
like
think.
Ghost Rider and Spider Man's owned by Sony. You know what I mean? So they can't do shit with that. Besides, I guess rent him. I don't.
Yeah, they have to
That's got to be
fucking
an
borrow his
interesting.
image.
That contract, dude, has got to be
Marvel
so
has to
confusing.
borrow one of their own characters' names to.
Well, eventually those rights will run out, and Disney will
Yeah.
own everything on planet Earth. You know that kind of shit. But it's like, well, why not get Kevin Feige, who's running the entire MCU, who made 10 years worth of connected stories in like 30 movies, and say, hey, man, like, can you recreate that formula, but with another gigantic,
Well,
mega fucking
you know what the
property? You
problem,
know?
the real problem is, man, is that Disney decanonized everything before and after Luke Skywalker.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
none of that means anything. So
Right.
you have tens of thousands of years, if you want to go by the books,
Mm-hmm.
before the prophecy of the chosen one, Luke Skywalker and Anakin, all that.
Right.
And you have hundreds of years after Luke Skywalker.
Right.
Like they still kind of follow his family a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but it's way more interesting. Like Luke Skywalker is a legitimate badass in the books.
Right.
Like he is a literal force of nature. He fights a force god,
Right.
like a god of the force, dude. Like
Right.
legit. Her name was Abeloth.
Jesus,
But
man.
like, dude, let's put it this way: you want a
Where do you
really
keep all that
cool,
information? Like in your hard drive there?
yeah.
It's just
No, dude,
goddamn.
you want a really cool concept.
Oh yeah, of
Luke
course I do.
Skywalker, he restarts the Jedi Council, right?
Right.
Reinstates the Jedi Order,
By himself
changes
apparently. There's
by himself. Yeah.
there's no
Well,
one
like I think
else.
Leia was part of it for a little while, but then
Oh, she's got to get her mitts
she
and everything.
quit. I mean, essentially, she bowed out.
Sure.
But then he changes the entire order around.
Right.
Allows anybody in of any age. He allows you to be married with kids. Doesn't matter.
Right.
You're in. A new Sith Lord shows up, like the new Sith Empire,
Where
essentially.
where are all the Sith? That's the thing. It's like
They're gone.
you got well that then how does another one show up?
Well, I'm about to tell you.
Oh,
So the new Sith Lord called Darth Krayt, right? He was actually like Krayt as in like
okay.
Krate,
Okay.
and he was a was it what were they called? The Raiders,
Mm-hmm.
the Sand People. What do we call them? The Sand Raiders or something
Oh, yeah.
from
Is it
Tatooine?
Jawas?
No, no, no. The
Oh,
ones
know. Yeah, the
with
ones
the
on
little mini
the
eyes, and
yeah,
he's
they
like,
got like the
"Rah, rah,
guns and
rah, rah."
yeah,
Yeah.
those guys. Yep.
Well, he was one of them, recruited into the Jedi Order. The Jedi fell while I think he was still a Padawan.
Mm-hmm.
He turns to the dark side after the events of the like
Order
Vader
66.
dying and all that. No, he
Oh, okay.
turns, becomes a new Sith Lord, changes the Sith like mentality. So
Okay.
instead of the rule two, it's the rule one. I'm the only Sith, but he has a new army of like assassins. Yeah, my like, dark side users.
Sure.
The two of them team up. The Jedi, well, mainly Luke Skywalker and the Sith, team up to fight a legitimate god
Okay.
and win.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Then,
they're the main characters. And they're gonna
no,
win.
dude, like she was originally a human, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like drank from the well of wisdom, bathed in the well of immortality. I can't remember exactly how it went.
Right.
Became stronger than the actual three force gods
Mm-hmm.
because there was a father, daughter, and a son. Right.
Okay.
Father was balanced, daughter was good, son was evil. Right.
It's always the way.
She scares them off their home planet, and they disappear. And they fight her. They're moving fucking like Luke's moving black holes around. They're chasing her throughout the galaxy. It's like an insane fighting.
It sounds it.
And it was to a point where the Sith and the Jedi actually had to team up to stop
Mm.
her from destroying the universe.
Well, they kind
Great
of
movie concept.
yeah.
They won't touch it. They won't touch it. I mean, you can't have Mark Hamill anymore.
No.
You'd have to recast Luke.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they could easily do that. No,
yeah,
nobody cares. I don't think that people care as much
they'd bitch about it like
as the
the
companies think they do. They'll bitch about it. They'll bitch about anything you put on there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the movies
yeah,
were
like the
literally
hardcore, like
cinematically
this is how it
perfect.
goes. Like
If those
the
three new movies were cinematically perfect, they would still complain. It doesn't
oh yeah,
matter.
it
It's just
doesn't
the way of the
matter.
world. It's the way of the world.
Dude, that right there is a brand new trilogy.
Hmm.
You keep the Skywalker name, you get to restart the franchise, whole brand new
So,
outlook on not outlook, whole new storyline,
hmm,
everything.
yeah,
Would have been fantastic. You go
right,
back before 10,000 years, a million years, or I think it's like 100,000 years. I think is I'm not, it might have changed.
yeah. They
Back
won't do that though because nobody
before,
cares.
no. But dude, like, if you come up and tell me that they're making a Darth Nihilus movie, 100% I'm watching it.
Yeah,
Darth Nihilus was destroying planets from outer space.
you'll be the only guy there because
No, I
nobody
will not.
knows.
No, I will not. They'd
You'll be the
hype it
only guy
up,
there.
but then you'd have all the super nerds like me
Yeah,
going.
yeah. That's probably accurate.
But like, you have all this more content you could use,
Yeah,
but they want to hyper focus on
because
the
that's the one
popular
that
names.
blew it up into
Yeah,
a
what it
cultural
is.
phenomenon. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
a staple of pop culture now. Yeah, it absolutely is, and it will always be. And the thing is, though, it's they got to do something because again, they spent 4 billion on it. There's no way they made that money back in those three movies. No fucking way.
No,
Like,
but they've made it back with um
well, Marvel, I'm sure.
merchandise and everything else.
It's funny. Like, I don't think they sold as much as you think they did. I mean, I'm sure they sold a lot.
Yeah.
I'm sure they sold a lot, but I'm sure like once those movies started coming out and people started hating on it as much as they did, those sales they plummeted.
I didn't like him. I still went and saw all three in the theater.
I don't think I saw any of them in the theater. No,
No, I
I
think
saw the
me,
first one. You and I went
yeah,
and saw the first one.
yeah,
Yeah,
and you went.
yeah, we went and saw that, but I didn't see the other two in theater.
Yeah, I did.
I just didn't. I quit caring. I'm like, I don't want to hear again
The
about
same old,
these
same old.
people, man. Like it's enough already. Like so, like this is the thing. So like they did Solo, and I watched Solo once, and they do stupid shit in there, man. That like ruins like there's like certain aspects of Star Wars that people love, right? There's like certain scenarios that they like who shot first, Han,
Yeah, or
or is it
Guido.
Greedo? Greedo?
Greedo. I
Yeah.
can't remember his
And
fucking.
in Solo, I'm pretty sure they like, oh no, Han shot first. It's like the point of the whole thing was that you didn't know, and that's what made it great.
Yeah,
Not everything needs a goddamn origin story or needs an answer. Leave it alone. It was fine. It was needless. You didn't
there was
have to
no
do it.
need to bring that up.
Right.
All you did was piss off the people who think
You
that
didn't really
the
even need a
alien should have
movie
shot
about
him.
Han fucking Solo.
No,
He's not what the Star Wars is about. It's about Jedi and Sith and good versus evil and not this
yeah,
fucking
it's
guy.
the whole.
I mean, I love Harrison Ford. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? But the thing of it is like it's like when they made young Indiana Jones. Nobody cared. Nobody
Yeah,
cared. Leave it alone. It's fine. I like Indiana Jones the way that he
just
is.
do
Leave Han
just do what
alone. He
other
was
movies
fine the
have
way he
done,
was. I don't want to see Han at 20. I don't give a shit. I don't
and you
give a
just
shit.
let certain things die.
Show
And
me
what they need to
Yoda
do,
coming
what they
up.
ne-
Show me
that
that.
would actually be
Awesome.
a super because Yoda came in because
He's
you know
fucking
how
1,000 years
earlier
old. He's like,
you
well,
know how earlier
989 years you reach, so good you will not, or however he says
yeah
it. Like you'll look
no
like shit
dude
at 900
the
years
best
old.
part is you know how earlier you were talking about how like Yoda kept saying they're too old
They're
too
too
old.
old. Yeah, he was like
Yoda
Adam
came
Sandler
into the
about it.
Jedi well into his adulthood.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't make any
Well,
sense.
I guess
It's
yeah, because his
contradictory to itself.
his species lived so long.
Yeah.
Because I think Grogu is like fucking 50, and he's a
Yeah, well, they
baby, and
clearly
he
they
looks like a
age
baby.
a lot
Yeah.
differently.
So if he was 100, yeah, he might be what in his teens for legitimate teens
Right.
for his species. But he was
Right.
like a trader, dude. Like he was like a space trader
Right.
when he was found by a Jedi
Yeah,
Master
like
and
show
like
me that
started
kind of
training.
stuff. I don't want to hear about fucking Han, or I don't want to really I really don't want to watch a show about Obi-Wan Kenobi. I really don't. He's a boring character. He was boring in the originals, which he was supposed to be. He was boring in the prequels, which he was kind of supposed to be. Why would you pick that
Because he is
character? Because
outside of
he's
fucking
got
Luke
the name.
Skywalker.
He's
Yeah,
got the name
yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Outside of Luke Skywalker, he is like the most popular character.
Right. Which I mean, I get what they where they were. I get the idea behind the prequels, right? Where did Darth Vader come from? The most popular character you have.
Yeah,
Okay, very good. They were
one
the
of
most
like
boring
the
fucking
most
movies
popular
I've ever seen in my.
villains.
Those are the three most boring movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, they
Right?
weren't good.
You have a kick-ass villain, Darth Maul. Right? He's cool. Why not have him run through all three goddamn movies? No, you kill him off in the first one in a very anticlimactic way. And then he comes
Yeah.
back. I know he
Well,
comes
the
back in the
best part
cartoon or
is,
something with like robot legs or something.
yeah,
He's on
he shows
stilts or
back.
something. You know what I mean?
He shows back up. But
Right.
the best part is, dude, is that
Well, I guess that makes
that
sense.
scene where Obi-Wan cuts him in half.
Yeah.
You know how like this is what people had problems with was that he jumped up and over, but it was just like a
Yeah.
and then he cut him.
Yeah.
But how that scene was supposed to play out, right? Like in the screen, or I think in George Lucas's mind or something,
Right.
was that was a fraction of a second
Right.
from the jump to the grab to the cut.
Right.
It wasn't this big 4 second thing where
Right.
he jumped up and he turned around surprised. It was like,
How did he turn around surprised? He knew what he was the one doing the
yeah,
flip.
no, like Darth Maul turned around surprised.
Oh, I see.
But like it was supposed to be like a dead.
Dude, I'm just
Like
saying,
he
like,
went from jumping boom slash,
you
but
get
they didn't like but they should have showed it as a fast forwarded scene.
the thing is it's like I get what they were doing with Palpatine, right? Like you see how he becomes emperor.
Yeah.
Cool. However, what they did, I think they failed to have vision with this. You know what I mean? It's because I think George Lucas is a secret asshole. You know what I mean? I think he's a dick in real life, and it might just be his personality type. Yeah, he's very like drab and dry, and he's not Mr. Personality. You know what I mean? But what they could have done is that Darth Maul would have been the new Darth Vader, as far in terms of like popularity is concerned. he looked cool. He had like the cool weapon that you never saw before. You know what I mean? Like he had like a very menacing presence. Like he looked dangerous. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah,
Why not
that's right. He
stretch
did
that
look
out?
dangerous.
I mean, I get it. Like you need Vader to come in at some point, but that's why you have three movies. You
Yeah.
make him a
Well,
villain
like,
and three like
but the
instead
problem
you
is
do
they
what's
wanted
his name, General Grievous, who is ridiculous.
no General Grievous was just like
Yeah, he fights with like nine lightsabers. Like who
yeah,
gives a shit?
but what it was Tyrannus.
Or what? Yeah, just like give
Was
me
the
Darth Maul
guy
the
who
whole time.
Anakin kills in the
As
third
as
one, I think.
as a guy who doesn't really know that much about it, and you're trying to play to a wide audience. You know what I mean? Not just fanboys like yourself. You know what I mean? It's like, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, you
I
know
know
what I
what you
mean?
mean.
But the thing is, it's like you're play it to people like me who weren't diehard fans, but you give me something cool. Maybe now I will become one. But instead, you make them have like 8 minutes of screen time and then kill them off in a way that's unsatisfying. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like
Well, I
no,
mean, like
you
he
you
goes
should have
through.
dragged him out over the thing. You know what I mean? Make him the focal point. You had to go through Maul to get to Palpatine. You know what I mean? Because he
Yeah,
was his apprentice. And then at the end, you know, like Obi-Wan gets into a big fight with him in the third movie, kills him off. Anakin, you know, and then you have the whole thing with Anakin,
in the
you know,
background running. You know,
right. Like
his
he knows
mom
Maul is powerful,
dies.
but he's not as powerful as Anakin, so
Yeah.
he's trying to move
Well, see,
Anakin over
like
too. You know what I
he
mean?
he had Darth Maul,
Yeah,
who wasn't a true Sith. Like he gave him the name Darth,
right,
but he didn't really consider him his true apprentice.
right.
And
That's
then he
my
got
point. Is it,
Tyrannus, which was Ian some what's his name? The
I don't
actual
know.
actor's name.
I don't know.
But they had
I don't even know what character you're talking about.
the one with the curved hilt of a
Oh,
red lightsaber.
yeah. You're
He
talking about
played Gandalf, I think, right? Was
no, he
name.
didn't play Gandalf. He played the
He
other
didn't play
guy.
Dan Gandalf?
You're talking about Sir Ian
Oh no, he
McKellen.
played Sauron.
Yeah, he played Saruman.
Saruman, that's what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
That was he my God, dude, he was fucking like in all the vampire movies. I think he was like Dracula for a while.
Yeah, he was.
His name's
Dude,
escaping
you
me.
know, he has like hardcore albums too.
Does he really?
Yeah. Like he like where he's I think he's playing all the instruments and everything.
That's pretty
Like
cool.
he actually puts out hardcore CDs.
Right. Yeah, and that fight, that's when he fights. That's when you see Yoda fight, I think for the
No,
second time.
yeah, he fights Yoda in the space station there. No,
Right, and Yoda's
the
doing
garage.
all the
Yeah.
flips and shit. You know what I mean? That's cool.
But then like he gets Tyrannus, he gives him the name Darth, but he doesn't even consider him his real apprentice. It's
Right.
just another stepping stone to get Anakin.
Right. But that's my point. Is okay, you motherfucker. Listen to me.
I'm listening.
If you're
I was
me,
agreeing with you.
oh, okay. Then I take it back. If give me a choice. Cool looking Darth Maul, and I don't really care a ton about his backstory, just that he's cool, he's menacing, he's powerful, or a 98-year-old man.
Yeah.
It's not even a choice. I don't want to watch the old man fight Yoda. I want to watch Darth Maul fight Yoda. I want to watch that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I don't
Dude,
want to watch that.
if
Like
Darth Maul fought Yoda,
I'm bored to
that
tears.
would be the world's most one-sided fight
Right.
of all
Well,
time. Like
well, see, there
Yoda
you
would
go.
have
That's how he dies.
bitch slapped him.
That's how he dies. Yoda takes care of him. You know what I mean? Like that's cool. Like
But
that's
see, I
interesting.
even
Like
like
that's something that's
I did
engaging to
like
me.
the Yoda versus Palpatine fight.
Oh yeah, where they're like
Where
spinning
they're
and stuff. And
yeah, and Palpatine started throwing the fucking chairs at
well, the
him, and
thing of it and
like when
I
Yoda caught the lightning
yeah
and then sent it back at him, that was cool.
yeah. The thing is though
They have cool scenes
is
in those
in
movies.
the prequels like the longer the franchise goes, the more out of control the force powers are. Like the stronger Jedi's become. You know what I mean? Like if you look at the original trilogy, like Luke and them like barely ever used it, like ever. And Darth only did it to choke people. You know what I mean? Like he didn't throw ships at people. You know what I mean? He didn't do like the Thanos thing where he like throws a fucking moon at you. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But and I heard this somewhere, so this is not my opinion about it. This is taken from somewhere else. But I thought it was a good point. Is they become so powerful, like characters like Yoda and Palpatine, that why even have lightsabers? Why not just use like force slam people through the fucking concrete, or
Palpatine does do that.
Jedi mind trick them? Like, why even have the sabers at
Yeah.
all? Just
Well,
rip them
like
apart with your mind. If Luke can move
in
black holes with his fucking force
yeah,
powers, he can easily take care of a platoon of fucking stormtroopers.
yeah.
Why
Oh
even
yeah, he
have them?
can. But like Palpatine only uses the lightsaber essentially to mock the Jedi
Sure.
because he actually believes that a true Sith Lord should only use the Force.
Only use the force. Yeah.
He's like the only reason. That's why, like when you see his lightsaber,
Hmm.
it's all like gaudy looking. You know, it's like gold and gem
Yeah.
encrusted. It's literally like a fuck you to the Jedi.
Right.
And then not only that, but I'm so good at lightsaber battles that I'm gonna kill four of um your Jedi Council without trying,
Hmm.
and then I'm gonna fight your strongest Jedi, and then
Right.
just give up on and then just use my force power and overpower them.
Right.
It was literally like I don't really need this. I was just doing it
Yeah,
for the shits and
he
giggles
didn't
of it. You know
fight
what I mean?
anybody like that in Rise of Skywalker. He just force
Yeah,
powered
like
them all over the place.
he doesn't need a lightsaber.
And then somehow Rey just having two lightsabers was more powerful than the most powerful force user ever known to
That
man.
was just because they needed a way to kill Palpatine.
Right. There's a dyad of the force. You know what I mean? Or whatever they said.
I
I'm
thought
like,
he looked cool, man.
I thought
Actually,
he looked super creepy.
yeah,
It wasn't like the environment was cool, like he looked cool. It's the fact that of his existence was a problem
yeah.
for me.
Well, like again, I've
You're
already said it.
negating everything. Yeah, like you said,
Yeah.
they're destroying the canon of their own franchise.
Well, not even just that, but he does actually show back up. But he shows up in the part you decanonized.
Right.
Like in what you've kept, he does not show back up.
Right.
But you're not. But now you're picking and choosing from the extended universe. Oh, we want them to have this force power. They want this character to come in.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and what you're doing is you're ruining any future movies
Right.
because you're taking things away that could have made like Palpatine being back is like a major point in the books.
Right.
Like Luke goes out on like a solo adventure to hunt down Palpatine's like the clone because he keeps transferring his consciousness
Okay.
to a new clone of himself.
Okay.
So like
But
he
they
gets
don't say
killed.
okay.
Yeah,
But that's in the books.
yeah,
That's not in the movie. So his him being there is completely mystifying.
yeah. They
It
don't
shouldn't be
explain.
confusing.
No, like you need to like especially you need to explain why Palpatine
Well,
is even there because you made Snoke the
a
main bad
clone
guy. Yeah,
who
but
sucked.
then he turned out to be a clone. He didn't do shit either. He just sat there and got it cut in half by Kylo
Right.
Ren.
Because the whole time I'm like, where was Snoke during the original trilogy? Like, where was he?
Yeah, well, that's
Like, where did
because
he
he
come
he didn't
from?
exist
Yeah,
until the
well,
original.
yeah, yeah. Well, then you find that out later. Yeah, you find that out at the very end of the third movie
Yeah,
when you see literally like tanks full of Snokes.
yeah.
Why are you growing so many? First of all, that doesn't
Well,
make any
see, here's
sense.
my thing too, dude. The Knights of Ren,
Yeah.
right? They're supposed to be this ultimate like fighting force that Kylo Ren is directly over.
Right.
You hear about them through all three movies.
Yeah.
They show up at the final few scenes,
Mm-hmm.
get obliterated,
Yeah.
and then just nothing. They look
Yeah.
cool. They had a cool fight. Like the fight scene was cool.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, why not send you could have sent a couple of them guys
Yeah.
after Ray and them,
Right.
and you could have had more conflict
Sure.
where like now she's not going up against a conflicted Kylo Ren. She's
Right.
going up against somebody who's truly like has conviction
Mm-hmm.
of what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah, like and skilled. Yeah, it would have been her first real challenge,
Sure. Yeah.
not just consistently fighting off the new Vader over and over and over again.
Right. Well,
Because Luke and them kept running away from Vader in the originals.
right.
he showed up and they fucking hauled ass.
Yeah,
Like
that was
they
the
weren't
wise
playing.
decision at the time in the
Yeah,
movie. It made sense. They weren't
and
ready.
a novice shows up as
Right.
just supposed to take on
Yeah, yeah.
a
Like
a,
like
a
these decades
trained
or centuries old Force
yeah
users. Like,
a
are you kidding me?
trained dark side user, right?
Yeah.
Trained by the Jedi, the Jedi,
Right.
not just a Jedi, but the Jedi,
Right.
trained by him, and you're supposed to just pick up your light stick and swing it around and actually fight them off.
Right.
No, no
Right.
way in hell.
Yeah. I
The
mean, the
fact
fact
that
that they
Finn fucking stood even half a chance against him
yeah.
pissed me off.
Yeah,
Because the
it
whole
made Rand look
reason,
weak
it did. The
and
whole
inept.
reason
Yeah.
why the Jedi and the Sith don't just like rip the lightsabers out of each other's hand mid battle
Yeah.
is because you are both projecting like essentially like a force field around yourself
Mm-hmm.
of like the force.
Right.
So they can't just like fucking turn your lightsaber off on you.
Right. Yeah.
He has no force sensitivity. He should have just ripped that lightsaber out of his hand and cut him into 15 different pieces and skipped away laughing. There should
Right.
not have been even a slightest chance of a fight.
Yeah, he shouldn't have existed anymore after that.
Yeah, the moment he picked that
That's
up,
when
he
they
should have been
attacked
dead.
like that, like the new version of the cantina, right? With
Yeah,
the lady with the fucking
yeah, with the big ass glasses,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
has
Yeah, she has Luke's lightsaber for
Luke's
some reason.
lightsaber. Yeah,
Yeah, and nobody's ever heard of this character ever
no, she's a new
before.
character. I
That's
don't
the
think
thing.
that she was ever in the books, but I could be wrong.
I mean, the thing of it is, I guess my biggest problem is that they don't care. It seems like they didn't care enough to plan any of it out. It's like they did. I think they planned the first movie, which is why it was halfway decent, right? Because it was essentially a soft reboot of A New Hope.
And
So
even if you were
okay,
going to do that, okay,
you give the first movie the pass of getting kind of reacclimated
yeah,
to having
because
the
you have characters who've never played
right,
a force user.
right,
They've never been a starship fighter.
right.
You know, they've
That's
never been a
okay.
stormtrooper. You know what I mean, or anything like that.
I'm okay with that to get you kind of like warmed up for the next couple of movies where a lot of crazy shit's gonna happen. But it's like they just like stop there and they're like, oh shit, like oh yeah, we told people this is being a trilogy and we only planned for one movie.
Yeah.
So just do
But
like
then, like,
whatever, do whatever. And then there's and then there's fucking horses. What? Why am I seeing horses? Why am I seeing like actual horses on Earth? They're space horses, like they're the same species on a galaxy far, far away and a long, long time ago.
give them
Get
6 legs,
the fuck out of
something.
here.
You know what I mean?
I don't want that is so stupid. Like that's when I was like really like this nobody knows what's happening here.
Yeah, they're just.
Nobody
Well,
knows
see,
what's happening. I
you know
know
what that is?
they
That
wanted to
is
go low
Disney
tech.
execs.
Yeah.
That is Disney execs forcing they're throwing their weight around.
Listen,
Well, I want it like this, and
if
then you have
any
to
Disney
change the whole
exec
scene.
or any executive for that matter ever sees this, if you're gonna hire creative people to create your creative IPs, leave them alone and let them be the creative person. You're the business guy.
You're here to
You get the
make sure
money,
the money is coming in.
you supply the
They're here
money,
to
and then
make
you
you the
collect
money.
the money,
Yes.
and then you
Stay the
distribute
fuck
money
out of the
as
way.
is, and then take the rest as
What was it?
profit. That's all you do. Your
Who
ideas are stupid. Your
who
ideas are
made
stupid. If they weren't stupid, you'd be an artist, or you'd be a director, or you'd be a fucking
who made
author. You wouldn't be Mr. Business
Mandalorian?
Guy in a suit. I think John Favreau did that.
Yeah, dude. They he actually told them that if you're gonna,
Fuck
because
with
they were
it.
messing, because like Grogu was supposed to go with Luke, right?
Right.
Like that was what I think that's what was in the script. He was not supposed to be a forever character.
Right.
Like
Well,
he was supposed
the
to
minute
the
those
whole
toys
goal.
started flying off the shelf, that was the end of that
Yeah.
conversation.
Well, like, but the whole goal was get him to Luke,
Right.
right? He actually told them, if you're gonna keep interfering, I'm just not gonna do this anymore.
Right.
And good luck trying to find somebody who has the plan.
Well, he's got
that
the
I got.
clout to do it because he made Iron Man one.
Yeah,
I think
he's
one
got
and
the
two. Yeah, I mean, he
and
was
he's
a
an act.
popular.
Yeah, he's an actor on top of that.
Well, he was a good writer. He wrote
Yeah,
Swingers.
yeah. Like he's got
And
the ability to
what was
do
the other
that.
movie he did? There's Swingers, and there's another one I can't remember the name of.
I
But it was,
think what he did, like I think he even started Ashoka Tano.
you know what I'm saying? It's like
Ashoka Tano, sorry.
right. So it's like I'm a, yeah, I'll just fucking leave. I don't need to do this.
Yep, exactly.
But I mean, John Favreau, like I said, he did all those Swingers, and the other one is driving me nuts that I can't remember what the other name of that movie was. It was big back in the day. I can't remember the name of it. But then they do stuff like what's the new one? Akasha,
Ashoka Tano.
Ashoka, yeah. And I mean, the only reason I'm going to watch that is because I'm going to be honest, Rosario Dawson. You know what I mean? I have kind of a thing for Rosario Dawson, but that's the only reason. It's like I don't really care. I get
Yeah.
what they're doing, and I like it. You know, I mean, that part of it is that they're going smaller, and they're trying to like draw it out a little bit, and things take a little bit more time because the other movies felt so rushed that you didn't have anything to really latch on to. It's just like scene after scene after scene after scene after scene of shit happening, and you can't really like dwell in any of it and take any of it in. It's just happening so
Yeah,
fast.
like definitely the first three movies were longer. Yeah, like they definitely dragged each scene out a little bit more for
On
more
the
of an
shows,
effect.
not in the movie.
No, I'm talking about like three, four, and five.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like things
They
went
were
slower.
movies. They
Yeah,
were regular movies. These were just cash grab movies, in my opinion. I don't
yeah.
really
They were
think they were
definitely
anything
like
else.
they went for more of the effect of
Yeah,
each scene.
they did. And like when I was watching The Last Jedi or something, and it had like the most boring space fight ever imaginable, where it's like the one ship was just a little like just out of their range where the blaster or whatever from the Star Destroyer like couldn't hurt it. And it was like the whole movie was that. I'm like, what is happening? Like this is so boring. This is the most boring thing I've ever seen. Like who wants to watch this nonsense? Like who thinks this is good? I don't get it. Like you
I
have
think
like a
they were
team of
trying to go
writers
for
and nobody
drama.
said that this is boring. Like, oh,
I'm
okay,
sure
like
somebody did, but some exec somewhere went, "No, that's good."
it's good. Ah, it's
Yeah,
filler. It's filler.
exactly.
And they had like nothing to do with the story either, really. Because like the other people wrote like some like space casino thing that was stupid. Like I was like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah,
Like
hunting down the guy that eventually turns on him, anyways.
well, and because the other movies, like a lot of the side characters go on like little adventures and stuff. And I think they were trying to do that with this, is they just picked like the wrong things to do with them.
Yeah,
I think
yeah. I
it just
think
got
they
boring.
really needed have those movies in
Yeah,
what was it pre-production for a little longer. They
they
needed to
did.
cook more.
Yeah, they needed to have an actual drawing board and then go back to it
Not just a napkin.
and rip everything off of it and start completely over.
Yeah,
Like keep the
because
first
there
movie
was some
intact and then
scenes.
build off of that.
Yeah, like the casino thing.
Mm-hmm.
There was some scenes that just didn't need to be there. The only cool part about the whole casino part
Mm-hmm.
thing was that one kid using the force.
Cheat or whatever.
No, no, no. There was a
I don't
little
remember it
boy.
that well. I just
No, there was a
threw
little
that in.
boy when they left planet, right? When they left
Right.
the planet, who looked down at his broom like he was like a little orphan boy or
Mm-hmm.
something, or he was just poor.
Right.
And he looks down at his broom and like puts his hand out, and the broom starts to shake.
Right.
So like he was using the force,
Right.
which is
Which
probably
had
the only cool part about that whole thing.
yeah, which had no payoff at all. So
No, I mean that almost felt like foreshadowing. Because
yeah,
now that because they've come out and said they're done with the Skywalker line.
they should have been done with that after
Yeah,
the prequels.
yeah.
They should have been done with it
So
with the original,
now
but
it kind of looks like maybe they're foreshadowing, like, oh, this is the little boy from before,
uh, yeah,
that kind of thing,
I
or
hope they
the
don't do that.
Jedi or the Force, like the light users
Right.
are starting to come out of hiding,
Yeah.
which would be
Yeah.
a cool idea.
Yeah, it would be a cool
Like
idea.
you kind of move away from the Jedi and the Sith, at least for like one movie.
Just don't reference like go back to like, oh, you remember that one 5 second scene? Like that's the new guy. Like,
Yeah. Well, no, but like it would be cool if that was the case, where it was like, yeah, maybe a movie or two, the Jedi are mentioned. You know what I mean?
right.
You kind of see like the resurgence of Force users
Sure. I understand. Yeah,
in the
I see where
Star
you're
Wars
going.
universe would be, and then you could kind of like start introducing them again.
Right.
and then you could bring out, you could have a whole another 9 movie trilogy off of that.
Mm,
But you could keep the Jedi and the Sith in.
right. So
But that's
I'm tired of talking about those
that's
movies.
for another time.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about these movies anymore. It's so infuriating because it's so popular and it's so full of fucking holes that I don't get it. I don't get it. Like
Well, dude, even the trip to Exegol, right, which is where
right,
the movie the series ends.
right,
That's the planet.
right,
That's in the Forbidden Zone. Wait,
right. That's Star Trek. It's the
Forbidden.
Forbidden Zone. I know what you
No,
mean
it's
though. It's
like
like
the Uncharted universe, whatever.
right,
There's there's spaceports, right?
hmm
Like lanes
right,
that are well traveled,
right. Like trade
like
routes and stuff. Yeah.
the hyper routes,
Right,
right? Well, that section of the universe either doesn't have any or they're constantly in flux.
right.
So, you know, if the lane's supposed to be straight, right?
hmm
This one does like, and then just a fucking asteroid will be in the middle of it. That kind of
Oh, I
stuff.
see. I see
Where
what you're
it's
saying.
just constantly moving. It's super dangerous. That's why no one ever goes there because there's no reliable way of getting there.
Right.
I actually did like the final fight scene with the spaceships and the chaos. I already said that,
Yeah.
but that's supposed to be a incredibly dangerous trip. And you telling me that Luke Skywalker just had the ability to get there the whole
Yeah.
time? Like I think it was him.
Well, he didn't even show up. It was like a force, like
No,
hologram.
that was the second movie he
Oh,
showed
that
up
was the
in.
second movie.
No, maybe it wasn't him. Somebody had a map to Exegol. I'm like, there's not supposed to be one.
Yeah, that's the Sith
And
Wayfinder.
thousands of fucking
That's the Sith Wayfinder. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure.
Well, in any case, it's not supposed to exist.
Right.
And thousands of like
Well, it does
civilians
now.
essentially.
Right.
Civilians show up for
Yeah.
a fucking final fight.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, I
You
mean
see what
like
I'm saying?
I'm not a fan. I've watched them all. I'm not really a big fan of the Ray Palpatine / Skywalker that she
Yeah.
is.
Well, I mean, I think what it is that most people are fans of the original three and they tolerate the others
Yeah. Well,
because
like, dude,
they're
even with her
such
being a
mega fans of the
Palpatine,
originals.
even her being a Palpatine would have been a great point, a
Yeah.
great like twist if they didn't wait to the end of the fucking third movie to say
They
it.
didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
They
She should have
foreshadow
been
it, and then they're like, "Oh, your
it
parents are
should have
nobodies."
been in the end of the first movie or in the beginning of the second movie. It came out that she was a Palpatine.
Right.
Because then you have that instant drama of all of her allies now can't trust her.
Right. Well, I think part of it, what it was too, is that I think a lot of the like the fan theory especially after the first one, is that Rey and Ren would be brother and sister, like Luke and Leia. And I think they wanted to like subvert the expectation for that.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Oh, we got to go a different way with it," because everybody's kind of they're seeing that coming. You know what I mean, kind of thing. And they just made them completely, essentially unrelated, other than like I don't even really get when they say like, "Oh, they're a dyad in the Force," or whatever. Like, what is that? I don't know what that means. What does that
It
mean?
literally just means that they're connected through the force,
That's
which is
so stupid
why
though, because
they're
aren't all of
constantly
them?
like showing no.
They can all like talk. Like they have. Like, what are you talking about? They have like the Force ghosts and shit show up and talk to whoever, whenever. So they're connected in some way,
Yeah, but not in the way that like
and they can sense when like other Jedi's are getting killed and stuff. Like
yeah, but that's not the connection they're talking about. It's more of like a personal connection, like between mind to mind. That's
I
why
would have
he
liked
keeps
it better
showing
if
up
they
in
were
her
brother and
dreams or vice
sister.
versa.
I would have liked it better if they were brother and sister and they separated them for
Well,
whatever
see, even
reason.
Kylo Ren,
But then again, they wouldn't have had any really reason to separate them like
because
they
there
did
was
Luke and
no
Leia.
yeah,
Yeah,
because there was no threat to him.
right.
But like Kylo Ren is essentially
Well, invent
Jason
one. You're a fucking
Skywalker.
writer. Invent one.
Yeah. Well, he's essentially Jason Skywalker, which is
Yeah,
Luke's son,
yeah.
right? But they didn't want to put Jason Skywalker in.
Because he had a regular name.
No, because then he would have to explain, well, where the fuck
Yeah.
yeah, where's
Luke's the only person with
Luke's
a regular name in that
wife?
whole series.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
well, Luke and Ben. And that's it.
Yeah. But like then
That's
you would
it.
have had to explain we're all there. Now, Kylo, like I think in the books, Han and Solo do have a son who trained with Luke.
You mean Han and Leia?
What did I say?
Han and Solo.
Whatever. Yeah, Han and Solo. Yeah, Han and Leia do have a son that train with them.
Right.
But I
Pretty
don't
sure his
think
name was
he's.
Ben.
But like Luke Skywalker's son is the one who actually falls to the dark side and then comes back like
Right.
Vader does.
Yeah. I think they should have just, to make it less confusing, they should have just simplified it, tell a simple story. They tried to get like to surprise people too much, and
Yeah,
it fell through the
well, like,
cracks.
well, dude, I mean, you had,
You should have made them like twins and like Luke and Leia, and that would have made more sense that A, twins
yeah,
are in the bloodline, and B, that they're extraordinarily strong
yeah,
with the Force and stuff, and which made them sought after for both sides. You know what I mean, like good and evil.
exactly,
That would
which
it
would
would have been
explain
more
why she got
simple,
dropped off on Tatooine
right?
and he went to go with train with Luke
Right.
because maybe he was stronger in the Force than she was.
Something
So
they could have done anything
Tatooine would
really.
have been, it could have been this whole thing where like even Leia trained to be a Jedi for a little while.
Well, I mean, she's somehow with no training survives outer space with Force
Well, no,
powers.
because technically speaking, in between episode, was it 4, 5,
It had to be
6,
3 and 4,
and like, episode
or
6
three,
and
or
7, there's a
yeah,
huge year gap, right?
yeah,
She actually does get trained by Luke how to use the Force.
yeah. Well, they
So
don't
she's
show
not
that.
like
So
untrained, exactly. But
to the layperson, nobody knows that.
no, nobody understands that. All you know is that she has the Force.
Yeah, which they allude to several times. They just don't allude
Yeah,
that she can survive outer fucking the vacuum of space
yeah,
and force pull herself back into the cockpit of a spaceship.
yeah. Which is also in the vacuum of space.
Right. It's like
How
what is
would you?
happening here? Like
Yeah,
I don't,
there's a lot
what
of
is
plot
happening here?
holes.
Yeah, like
Well,
they
the
tried to make
movie
it overly
it almost
complicated,
it's almost
and it
like
ruined it.
they're going. They're trying to. They were trying to appease the casual Star Wars watcher.
Right.
They were trying to pull in new list watchers, new
Right.
fans,
Sure.
and they were also trying to make the fanboys happy. So you
I
had
will
to
not deny
essentially
that it's
understand
yeah.
what happened with Leia. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like why Luke, because like even him going off in exile, it doesn't exist
Right. I mean, I
in
won't
the
deny that
books.
it's a tightrope walk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
For
like
sure. But
you're
that's why you
trying
keep
to
it simple
do
though.
you're
Like
trying to
that's
keep too many people happy.
right.
You
But
either try to keep the
that's more of a
fanboys, the
reason.
casuals, or the new people happy.
Right. More of a reason to keep it simple though.
Yeah.
So you
So
don't
like
yourself get
you
lost.
had to know
The
Leia
storyteller.
went through Jedi training to understand why she was able to pull that off.
Dude, and you know what's funny though?
Yeah.
It's like it's the simplest thing. Like you just add like 2 lines in the movie somewhere about it. Done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Luke
It's not
left.
that hard.
Luke left before I was able to finish my training with
Right.
him.
Something.
Something
Give
like
us
boom,
something to make
boom.
sense.
Now you have a in movie reason why she's able to do that.
Right. And then they do, you can, like, I think the biggest tell before we go, this
Yeah.
is probably my biggest problem with this entire, like, the new three ones. And it's so small, but it's infuriating as a person who watches a lot of movies. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Is when they meet, they go to like that planet that kind of looks like, it's like really run down, looks like an old, like, ghetto kind of planet. You know what I'm talking about? And I think it's in the second one, wherever they wipe C3PO's memory to read the Sith language
Oh,
on the
okay. Yeah.
dagger. And she's like, "Oh, I have this coin that'll get you on any other first order ships." It's like, what is that thing? And
Yeah.
it's so convenient that it makes no sense. It's like it's a coin or something she gives them. I'm like, what is this shit? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Wait a minute. You're telling me that this is all it takes for essentially a group of rebels to
Yeah,
to attack the government's ships.
it's this coin thing that you
Yeah.
just gave me. It's so stupid.
Not like
It's just
um
it's
we hacked
lazy.
their system. They don't know we hacked it yet.
I
And
stole this
now
off a Sith commander or
a
a
first
first
order.
order, like,
Yeah,
starship
something
or
like that.
whatever,
Like, oh yeah, we took the
Star Destroyer
transponder.
captain or whatever.
Yeah, we took the transponder or whatever it's called
Right,
off their ship
right,
and attached it to ours.
right. Which
So
makes
now
more
it'll
sense.
trick their systems into thinking we're that ship
Right,
and we'll be able to get on.
right. Well, the thing is too is that the thing is full of fucking windows, and they would have saw that it's like not
Yeah.
a first order ship and blown it out of the sky. You know what I mean? But minus that plot hole, it's like, well, here's this thing that'll get you exactly where you want to be at exactly the time you want to be there.
Yeah,
It's
for
like
the
that's
plot,
so
it's great.
lazy. That's so fucking lazy
Yeah.
that it drove
But
me
dude, I
nuts.
mean, even in the originals, they still had like, oh yeah, it's an old signal, but it should still
Right.
work.
Yeah, exactly.
Super
Like,
easy, boom, done, explained.
right.
We we were able to pay off somebody in the Empire.
They
We
gave
got
us the
the
code.
code
Right.
or whatever,
Right.
but it's an old one,
Right.
but it should still work. And
What
they
it
get
also
there,
shows that
and they
like the
even
people
mention
there,
it. The Empire even mentions it.
yeah,
Well, it's an older signal, sir, but it's still it's still active.
right.
And that's when Vader goes,
She's
let
on
them
that ship.
through.
Yeah, she
He's
senses
on, yeah,
Leia.
they're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. See, that's my point though. It's like like even that little thing showed like some sort of like destabilization inside people that are in the Empire that they don't really love what they're doing and they're
Yeah,
willing to like
they're forced to do it,
right, they're forced to do it. And this one it doesn't explain anything. It doesn't show
No, just
anything.
everybody's just
It's
hyper
hyper
loyal.
convenient and it's
Yeah,
convenient for convenience sake and it's lazy. It's lazy. It's super
yeah,
super super lazy. You know, like this thing with C3PO. He's like, I'm looking at all my friends. I'm like, well, don't they kind of treat you like shit, like
yeah.
a bunch. You know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. But like that was okay. Like hey, we have to like reset him to, you know what I mean, to like so he reads this and all that kind of stuff. So okay, and C3PO is kind of annoying anyway. So I wasn't really that upset
And
about it.
he's
But
even like a pretty integral character though.
he is. I mean, he's in every one of them. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? He's
literally, he's in
he's
every.
in
Well,
every
I think
movie.
he's not in the
He's
first
in
one,
more
but
of the movies than Luke and Vader are.
actually, he is in the first one, in
Yeah.
episode one.
He
He
builds
just
them.
doesn't have his
Anakin
parts
builds
yet.
them.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
doesn't have them encased in his armor yet.
He lives longer than Darth Vader.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like he makes it further than anybody. Is C3PO and R2D2. They make it further than anybody. You know what I mean? I mean, I assume Chewie was alive when Anakin was a kid. You know what I mean? But
oh
he's not
yeah,
really in the
probably.
first ones. You know what I mean? But that's it. I can't do it
Yeah.
anymore.
Well,
But the
next,
God,
I was gonna say it probably is a good point to kind of wrap up
yeah,
this
I can't take
because
it
like the
anymore.
next episode, we do have ideas
Yes.
we'll be talking about where like we kind of me and Tim talking back and forth on the phone about it for a while
Yeah.
about the different ways that they can still have a Star Wars movie but be far away from the Star like
The canon,
this
the
like
established
rut they're
canon.
in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So like just before we go, as a little hint of what that is, in my opinion, look at the name of the franchise and use that in a little literal sense.
Yeah.
And you have infinite stories to tell that do not include
The
Luke fucking
Skywalkers
Skywalker and the
or the
Empire
Palpatines.
and all
Yeah.
those guys. Put them to rest. We
At
don't want it
least at
anymore.
least for a while.
Yeah.
You have to let it
Marvel's
go.
feeling that too, man. Marvel's
Yeah.
feeling it too.
Because like even the
After
superhero movies, you they're oversaturated.
yeah, after Endgame, that
You have to
was
let them.
it.
You have to let it back out,
Right.
back down. Let people want to see those movies again, and
Yeah.
then you can come up with whatever the hell you want,
Yeah.
and boom, you're good to go
Well, the
again for another
Marvels was a
15
huge
fucking years.
flop. Huge flop. The
Which one?
Eternals, I actually
Oh yeah, yeah.
think
You're
was
right.
better than people give it credit for.
Eh,
I thought it was pretty good.
I saw it.
It
I
was it
wasn't too.
Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, whatever. I thought that was good.
Yeah, I didn't
That
see
was
that
good.
one.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. But give me Blade. Where's Blade? Supposed to be out already. Give me Blade. Tired of it.
Yeah,
I want to
for
see
the
it.
longest time, I didn't even know Blade was a Marvel character. I just thought it was a.
No, he's
I like like Blade, like the original Blade.
right.
I loved it.
Like
Didn't know
for
he
the
was a
longest
Marvel
time, I didn't know
character.
Spider-Man was a Marvel character. No, I'm only kidding. But all right, guys. Well, that's the original 9 Star Wars plus 78 TV shows plus books
Yeah,
plus everything else that they do. Join us next time. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Gamma
YouTube.
Ray. Or not Gamma Ray. That's an old show. Follow us
Yeah.
at what is the name of the
Discount
show?
Paranormal.
Discount Paranormal. We love you. We'll catch you next time.
Peace.
Bye.